Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast folk. Those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man. How would it go? We talking one of a kind. Collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening. But damn it, man. Don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made. But I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome back to another episode of the Figure Booth here, where we talk about the modern day collector and the ups and downs that they face. We go over pre-orders, we share our plastic confessions, and we do interviews with those in the toy community. My name is Josh, aka Prime to the First, and I'm joined by my co-host and friend, FigureFan_Nate.
Hey everybody, and thanks for joining us for episode 87, which we're calling Smiles and Cries.
Oh, sounds like it's going to be a tearjerker of a episode. Be ready.
You might be smiling by the end of this. You might be crying.
Who knows? Get your box of Kleenex.
Right.
Get your bottle.
It's gonna get emotional.
What's your poison?
Like my go-to poison?
Yeah, if you want to shed some tears or sow a broken heart.
It's honestly just some beers, some IPAs. It's like
really?
Strong IPAs.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like a hard alcohol guy, really.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I would say I would probably say like vodka, because bourbon usually is just to chill, relax. I'm not like heartbroken or anything, but I think vodka is just kind of like, and then I gotta like pour myself into this bottle a bit.
It's like really getting drunk on vodka. Is that how you sound? Like,
I like all of a sudden I develop this comrade. I get images of what's the dude's name? Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2, 3. I want bud.
Oh yeah.
Where's my bud? Yeah.
This is not my bird.
Yeah. And he goes, "You lose." And he's like, he's constantly losing his shoes. I'm like, what is up with that was so random. I could never understand. It was random because he looked older than his dad, and then his dad died.
Yes.
I'm like, you look. Were you guys born at the same time?
Everything about Iron Man 2 felt like an afterthought when you think about it. You know?
Yeah.
Like the whole story, Mickey Rourke coming in as Whiplash, which was a cool villain, but the way they executed him is just so random.
They just threw him in there, and then he figured out how to make an arc reactor just by reading blueprints. Like,
right. Yeah, where's the blueprint?
Like, give me the blueprint to a plane. I can guarantee you, I will not be able to build a plane.
No, it's not happening.
Let's get 78 here to talk about blueprints. And I'm like, hey, send me some architectural stuff. I'm pretty sure I can't build a building just by reading some blueprints.
He must have listened to our blueprint episode. You know, that's how he figured it out. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was on TV randomly and I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I don't like this movie. And
I just quickly
turned it off.
It bothers me how like they're so close in age. I'm like, he looks worse. Why is the dad dying? Ricky Rourke looks worse than he does. Like, he has like capped teeth. Like, he has so much silver. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, how did he get that role? Like, how did he pull that off? Like, I could be a good villain for you.
They're like, Whiplash. Let's get Mickey Rourke. It was probably right after The Wrestler or something. They're like, he looks like he could be a good villain to go toe to toe with Tony Stark.
And that's the thing too. They always like, I know we're going on a tangent, but they always like, kill off the villain, and they're good villains. Like, I thought Ironmonger was a great villain.
Yeah,
he could have come back in like the second movie, maybe.
Yeah. Or
they keep Whiplash alive, and he comes back in like the third movie, which is a better villain than what they ended up with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way better. They could have done so much. They could have actually brought like the real Mandarin, or done. It's just. I always thought, hey, in the comics, like, doesn't the bad guy like somehow just get away and then he comes back in the next issue? Because that was my issue too with like Red Skull. They got rid of him. I'm like, you could have used him in so many other like minor roles.
Oh yeah.
You bring him back, but he's like some phantom ghost in some nowhere planet. Like, for being Red Skull, like he's such a
Iconic
main
villain.
villain. Yeah, iconic villain,
Yeah.
especially for Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but that's our rant on movie making. We should just make it like, hey,
We should.
leave it to us. If Mickey
Yeah.
Rourke can do a arc off a blueprint, we can make better movies.
Just throw it in ChatGPT. It'll figure something out. Like,
Make
write
me
me
a
a
movie.
better Iron Man 2 than the real Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
I guarantee it's going to be a better script.
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, even though me and Josh could probably go on for an hour
We could.
ranting about movies that we like, we don't like, and the ways they could have been written better.
Uh-huh.
This episode's not just about the movies. This is about really dealing with loss in the context of toy collecting. You know, there's a lot of people out there in the toy community, and there's probably people that are listening that have dealt with loss. I personally recently just dealt with some loss. If you guys follow me on social media or, you know, see one of the posts that I shared from my wife's account, you probably know that I had a dog named Goldie. She got to the ripe old age of 17 and then unfortunately started having some pretty serious health complications. So I had to make the unfortunate decision to put her down. And man, it gutted me. It's one of those things that I knew when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was going to be really hard emotionally to handle, but it kind of took me by surprise how much it actually hit me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people think about it like, oh, it's just a dog, man. It's just a dog. But for me, she was more than a dog. She was like almost a child in a way. You know,
for sure.
I don't think I've ever been that connected to a dog before. So to lose her just really hit me hard. And it made me think like, hey, that might be a good podcast episode because I'm not the only one out in the toy community that is dealing with loss or has dealt with a loss. And it's probably more serious than losing a dog, even though I know there's a lot of us out there. I've talked to quite a few people out in the community that have lost animals and, you know, just DM them. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. And everybody's got their own kind of personal story and it hits everyone differently. But, you know, it's a real thing that people are dealing with out there. And I don't think it gets talked about enough about, you know, how do you deal with loss? How do you move on from that?
Yeah, no, it is tough because I think there's plenty of people that prefer pets over dealing with humans because sometimes humans suck, you know. But once they become, you know, a lot of people that are really pet lovers or animal lovers, they really look at them as a part of the family. There's always been a family pet. You know, me growing up, we've always had some type of animal, whether it was a dog, cat, or bird, or whatever. It's always been, and you do build that like emotional bond, that emotional support. That, you know, it's sometimes they understand you better than, you know, a friend or your sibling or something, because they just hear you out, and sometimes that's all we need. We just need someone to hear you out and stuff, you know. Or it's a good distraction, you know, like me going through my stuff. That was a recommendation. My therapist was like, hey, why don't you go get yourself a dog? And we already had one, but I got our little dog for my wife, and you know, the therapist had recommended for myself to get a dog, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up getting a dog. Went to this adoptions like pop-up fair where they had a bunch of dogs, and it was really cool. He ended up really creating that bond where it does distract you. I would take him to the dog park, and, you know, it gets your mind off of certain things where you're just like, oh yeah, he's enjoying having himself some fun, making some new friends, and it does like give you that outlet where either it distracts you from whatever you got going on, or it helps you cope with whatever you have going on. I think any type of loss, especially whether it's a human life or an animal, you know, it's definitely hits you when you least expect it. Because I know we had been talking about how old your dog was, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna come to that bridge. I'm gonna have to come to that bridge. And I think we all do that, even like whether it's animals or humans. Like, you know, I have friends who are like, oh, my grandma's really old, she's up there, blah blah. But then once the grandma passes away, they're like, they're really torn, because then they remember all the good times or when they were kids. And I'm like, hey, just a month ago you were complaining that it was like her, you know, like 90th birthday or whatever, and you dreaded going because, you know, maybe she's not all there, or whatever the case may be, you know. But we forget that there was a time where it meant a whole lot more to us. And I think once we finally cross that bridge, then that's when we get in the feels. And not to say that you were like, this fucking dog, but I know you were like kind of dreading it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're dreading the moment that it's going to come, like that moment of loss.
Yeah.
Realizing, and I think the hardest part is that your life's not really the same after that because she was such a big part of my daily routine. I would get up and see her, and then feed her and take her outside, and she was always kind of hanging around because I work at home.
Yeah.
So I was always it was always such a big part of my day. So when she, when I put her down, it was just more of that. I think that was part of the sadness, is that like, okay, well, my life is different now because she is gone.
Right.
And to your point, there
Isn't
are
it crazy?
people that, go ahead.
I will say, isn't it crazy how much of an impact you realize your dog had? Like,
Yeah.
You probably missed the pitter patter, or like you look and you're like, wait, where the heck is she? Like, it's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, like, I'm not embarrassed to say it, but I would like sing to my dog. I'd create like songs for her.
Who doesn't sing to their dog? Tell me one person.
My wife's a flight attendant, so she'd be gone a lot, and then my dog was kind of like,
of course,
my only person.
Your wing person.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's a big loss. It sucks. But like you said, there's people out there that sometimes live alone, and then you have a dog which can really help, or whether it's a cat, if you're a cat people, I know there's a lot of cat people out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's your kid or whatever it is. Any type of loss.
Maybe it's your pet lion or pet tiger.
Pet
monkey.
tigers, lions. Yeah, hey. I mean, that's a bit riskier, but sure. Maybe your lion would put you down at some point. But, I think the reason why I bring it up is because within the toy community, we see a lot of people deal with this in different ways.
Right.
We see some people that are going through it, currently with some type of loss. I've seen loss from other friends in the community, and you might get a little bit lost in how you deal with it. Like, what do I do? But toys hold emotional connections too. Mm-hmm. They tie back to some of those cherished memories, and there's some moments where like I have like a figure, and I remember I was on a hike with my dog and I took a picture with this figure. So that brings back a memory.
Yeah.
Like toys and nostalgia, that memory thing, like they hold some kind of special connection to us. So I think if you're having a hard time dealing with loss, sometimes you can just pick up a figure and then you remember something about either that person or some kind of like memory that helps kind of break you out of it for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes you to like that happy spot, right? Or that happy place where you're like, oh, there's some type of story, or maybe that was their favorite or your favorite, or something that created that type of bond that helped you remember them,
right?
And kind of brings you out of that darkness.
Yeah, and I think like collecting can almost be sort of a form of therapy in a way, and you got to be careful in how you treat that.
Yeah.
Because you could say like, well, I'm dealing with loss and now I'm just going to buy a bunch of toys to make myself happier. That's dangerous.
Fill that void. Yeah.
Yeah. But it can be kind of therapeutic because it offers some kind of distraction or there's something else to focus on, and it gives you that sense of control again. Like, oh, I can control this at least.
Right.
During this difficult time. But I don't know. It's just like that can help you through grief sometimes as well. Having that, but for me, it's just kind of been like a roller coaster. So it was fresh, and I wanted to talk about it, and just kind of get your thoughts. And I know there's other people out there that are dealing with it. I would love to hear from you guys that are listening. Like, what are some of the things that you've dealt with? What has helped you through loss? The community is a big part of it too. Like having friends in the community that you could talk to. If you see somebody post something that maybe is kind of hard, you can tell it's probably hard for them, or they're dealing with their own issues, maybe just say something quick. It doesn't have to be anything that's like impactful, but like, hey, sorry for your loss. I got so many people that responded to just my story post, and I wasn't doing that for attention. It was just more of like, that was my way of dealing with it, is I had to just get it out there and say it just to make it more real. But man, I got so many great responses and feedback and DMs, and it just really meant a lot to me. So if anybody that is listening sent me a DM, or even if you didn't, it's not like I don't think of you any differently, but I just want to say thank you because that really did help me out a lot. So I think this community and supporting each other is really helpful. It can help individuals dealing with loss, in a way.
Oh yeah. Yep. Couldn't echo that enough. It's crazy how we all come to action when we see one of our fellow collectors going through something. And it's crazy because sometimes most of us feel more at ease sharing like those personal moments, even though maybe our page has nothing to do with our personal life. But that one post, like, hey, I just lost my dog, or I lost some whatever loss it is, when it's something tough for you to deal with, and then you share that, like I think more 9 out of 10 times I see that positive um, support from the community, where they're either reshare their story, and they call everybody like, hey, let's go show this one individual some support and some love and let them know that we're here. And I think that's reassuring. It's like, oh, okay, it doesn't always have to be about the toys. Real life shit still happens, and we may not be able to share like that real life shit with our friends or our family because maybe we're just either embarrassed or ashamed, but for some reason, we feel comfortable sharing it with like sometimes faceless individuals, but we know them by screen names,
Mhm.
so there's no face attached. It's kind of like we're just throwing it out there into the void and see what happens. But a lot of times the response is really great, and a lot of collectors really show up, and it's that's to me that's really reassuring.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's easy to get, to hide behind this social media thing, have like fake relationships
Right.
where, you're being supportive, but you're not really like there for these people. And
Right.
you really kind of see like who really cares about you when something serious happens in your life. You're like, who's actually
Yeah, for
reaching
sure.
out, who's saying something,
Yeah.
who's kind of ignoring it. And not that I expect anybody to be like, hey, Nate's dealing with
Every
something, let me deal with Nate, because everybody's got their own shit going on. But just knowing that somebody's thinking about you can be really helpful, because you go through like these different stages of like grief. At first I'm like denying that it happened, like, it's she'll be back tomorrow,
Yeah.
it's not real. And then
You're
you
waiting for
start,
her to show up to the door.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, denial is one of those stages. And then you get mad about it, like I got
Yeah.
pissed off, like, just why the fuck did this have to happen? Like,
Yeah.
why'd she have to die now? Why couldn't I get
Yeah.
more time out of her? Then you make like this bargaining thing where, like, oh, well, she's dying for a better cause.
Right.
And, you're trying to like grasp it
Right.
or make sense of what's happening. And then you go into like this depression stage where you're just like really depressed that it happened.
Yep.
And you start to like really face the grief and you start to cry. And, it's just like, okay, she's actually gone. And then that's the
Yeah.
acceptance.
Yeah. The
So it's like you
healing
go through
starts.
these stages of grief.
Yeah.
And I definitely went through that myself. And I know my wife did. My wife had a really hard time with it as well. But luckily we were there for each other. And,
Yeah. That's awesome.
um, I felt like I gave her a pretty good life too. So that's part of it too. Like enjoy those moments because you don't know when they're going to be gone. If you got somebody in your life that's sick or, is, kind of having a hard time, make sure that they know that you love them or that you appreciate them or whatever the case is. Because I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes people die and then you have this regret, like I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say. I didn't get to show them
Should
how
have, would
much I
have, could
love
have.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have that
Yeah.
regret, especially with loss.
Yeah. But not to get too like out there existential and stuff, but I saw this clip of uh Theo, the comedian, interviewing Howie Mandel, and he recommended this book called The Power of Now. And so I got it. It was actually one of the birthday gifts my wife got me, just because he was talking about like it's only being like in the present moment. Like this is all we have. Whatever happened in the
Yeah.
past, like that's it. It's gone. And even like memories that maybe you've experienced with other people. It's just your own perspective. So you see it one way, and it's true. And like and then the other person that experienced that with you, they had a whole different type of experience, and it's like
Mhm.
you. It's almost like two different, completely different experiences. But that's irrelevant because it didn't even happen. Or it's already gone. It's in the past. Like it's never. I don't know. It doesn't exist anymore, right? And in the future, like
Yeah.
the future's not here yet. So who knows? And he in the interview, he's like, this whole building could be leveled right now, and then that's it. This is going forward. This could be our going forward moment. Like this is could be my end, and we wouldn't even know it. And even though that's a bit extreme to think about it, and I think what you want to take away from that is just trying to be present. That is very hard, just for the average individual to always remain present. I know that's something that I've been trying to work on. Is just constantly remain present. Is like enjoying the moments, whatever that is. If
Mhm.
it's like if I had an agenda, I was really a big like agenda planner. I had to have certain things go a certain way, whether it was a vacation or whatever. But I just started letting that go, because I was like, you know what, let's just, if it goes that way, it goes that way, and if it doesn't go that way, then that's okay too, because as long as I'm present and I'm not missing the moments, whether it's with my kids or with my wife or with my friends or us doing this, like I try not to stress so much about like, we have to put out episodes every single time. But if we're showing up and we love what we're doing, then like that's all that matters. So I would definitely recommend that book, The Power of Now. I just started reading it. It's so far really just thought provoking. It's like it's challenging to really remind yourself to stay present, and like it helps with that grieving process. Don't stick yourself in that dark hole. But there's no need to be super optimistic and go like oh well, next year I'm gonna do, like there's no need for that. Just kind of staying in the middle, staying in the balance.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. It helps you appreciate what you have and not look at what you don't have, kind of thing.
Right.
Like, from a collecting standpoint, I could have got that at this cheaper price or whatever. Who cares? It's gone.
That's it.
Why worry
Just
about
move
it?
on.
Because
Move
you
on.
can't do anything about what maybe you wish would have happened or you should have done. And also, like in the, worrying about the future, I see people do that a lot. Like, well, what if I fail? Or what if this happens? Or what if that happens? You spend all this time and energy and stress dealing about these possibilities that could happen or could not. You really have zero control on the overall outcome.
Yeah.
To your point, all you can control is being present, being now, like one step at a time. I say this a lot to myself because I tend to bunch everything up. Like I got to do all these things.
Yeah.
How am I going to get all this done? Okay, well, what's the first thing I can do? Let me just complete one step, break it down into steps. And that's really helpful for me. So I love that. I want to read the book now.
Yeah. The Power of Now.
Yeah. Cause I mean, really the present moment is really all you have. If you think about it,
that's it.
You don't get to influence what people thought about you in the past. You don't get to change what could potentially happen in the future, but the way that you act now can impact the future. So wishing that something would happen is kind of a fool's game. You sort of have to make the steps to make it happen.
Oh, I like that.
Man,
like
I wish I
I'm
would
getting
be
goosebumps
successful.
here.
It's the people like, I wish I could get rich or I wish I could be successful.
Manifest.
Like, what are you doing to make that happen? Because if you're just wishing about it all day long, it's always going to be a wish, because nobody's just going to give you a bunch of money or nobody's just going to pay you a bunch of extra. You're going to have to like fight for that yourself.
That's right.
That's powerful, man. I like that.
Yeah.
But
that's it. Next episode, book club, Power of Now.
Yeah.
We're going from reading comic books to reading motivational books.
Yeah, and I know it's a deep topic, and we tend to get pretty deep on this show, and that's sort of our theme. And it's because people aren't really talking about this stuff, I think not enough. And there's just so many people, more than what you think, are actually dealing with it on a daily basis.
Yep.
And it's, again, I've said this before, it's important to have something outside of your life other than toys that can bring you joy and happiness. Because when you lose things in your life that are important to you, even though toy collecting can be a way to deal with it, you need other things that can kind of help bring you out of it, which are friends or other activities that you can do, just stuff like that. Even right now, there's somebody in the community that is dealing with a significant loss. My action figure customs, which is awful. He lost his wife, and I lost a freaking dog, and I'm sad about it. I can't imagine losing someone like my wife. And I've seen that happen before. There's another guy I followed in pursuit of toys. He lost his wife a couple of years ago. So it's something that's really going on, but I think you were telling me they're doing something special for my action figure customs. Do you know more about that? action_figure_ customs. Check out his, as of today, which is the 26th of September, on his post, he posted, where they're setting up a GoFundMe, and every little bit helps, like it just, man, it breaks my heart. To most of us, if you're some type of like customizer, or even myself, I know I've bought in some prints off his eBay page, off his own personal page. There's a bunch of his stuff out there in the community. Any little bit helps, and it breaks my heart to see, like, just it was so sudden, and then like that totally takes the wind
out of his sale, where
Oh
unfortunately he's gonna
yeah.
have to close up his shop and deal with real life. This is like some real life events, but this is again where as a community we can come up and show up and to kind of step up to the plate and show the support, because even though I may have not met him in person, like I'm gonna do whatever I can to help him out and donate to his cause to alleviate, even if it's like a little bit of that pain that he's going through, because it's that must be that must be the worst right now what he's going through. So my thoughts and prayers are with him.
Yeah, like I said, I can't imagine it. If you guys know of him, or like Prime said, if you've done business with him, or even if you don't know the guy very well, but you want to show
Yeah.
some support, go to his page and find that GoFundMe. And if you can contribute, awesome. If you can't, maybe just a kind word. Sorry for your loss. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I know it sometimes can sound empty, but even just having that out there from people, I've had friends say that to me. Just knowing that they're there in case I need them, that can be huge. And I'm sure that family is dealing with a lot right now. So any bit of help, anything helps, not just money. Just being there for people can help. And I think that's another thing too, is don't be afraid to ask friends or family to help you. I think we're also prideful sometimes that we view it as some kind of sign of weakness if we're asking someone to help us. But I don't think enough people do that, where they're not asking for help, or, and be like specific about your help. Be like, hey, I'm dealing with this shit. It's really tearing me up. I've got depression, whatever it is. I need some help. I don't know what you can do for me, but maybe we can just talk,
Yeah.
I think everybody's just so scared that you're burdening other people, and maybe you are, but they'll tell you whether or not they're available to help you. But I think, and I'm included in this too, where my pride gets in the way and I don't want to ask somebody for help, but you got to recognize that that's what friends are for. We're here to help each other. You got to be proactive about it. You got to be able to ask for it. Otherwise, people just don't know you might need it, and that's another thing too. You get mad that nobody's helping you, but are you asking for that help? Are you seeking it? And if it's not something that like a friend can help you with, get professional help. I've gone to therapy quite a few different times for different things in my life. It can be extremely helpful to have outside perspective. You can kind of get trapped in your social bubble sometimes. You hear a lot of the same things from the same people, and they're doing their best to try to help you. But at the end of the day, they're not professionals, and a professional can offer a completely different lens on a problem you've been dealing with, or give you advice on how to handle it easier. I think professional help can be really something.
They equip you with the right tools.
Yeah, exactly. They just it's always good to have like a mediator, someone that doesn't know you. You can tell them your situation, and they give you kind of like a no bullshit response. That's what you need.
And no judgment either. It's like no judgment. There's no BS. It's just like very unbiased recommendation, suggestion. I don't know, coping mechanisms. There's so many benefits to it. So
yeah, but I think it's just be aware of your loss. Let it happen. Don't you got to process your grief. I think some people try to ignore grief and they don't process it, and that can come back and rear its ugly head later on, and you can lash out at people. So you got to make sure you process your grief. Be self-aware. Self-care. I know we say that a lot. Mental health is extremely important. Take care of yourself, and if you feel like you're not taking care of yourself, that's a problem. And then always, like we've talked about, try to lead with empathy when you're talking to people. Come from a place of understanding rather than a place of negativity. Give them a reason to be negative. Don't just be negative right off the bat, that kind of thing. I see that a lot. There's a lot of negativity. So leave your judgment at the door if you're going to try to talk to somebody. But yeah, serious episode. If that helps you guys, I would love to hear from you. If there's something that you've dealt with and you have your own advice, drop it down below. Do you drown yourself in new figures? Do you drown yourself in vodka like Prime? What do you do? Exactly. There's always something that might help. But just cope with it somehow. So let us know what you guys think.
Movies.
Yeah, there you go. You might just want the shittiest movie.
Binge watch like your favorite movies. Like sometimes lately, I've been watching just a bunch of bunch of like cheesy action movies. I've been watching some 80s movies, but then, I've sprinkled some good ones too, but there's some where I was like, really, that's really bad. Like, and none of I'm so drawing a blank right now, but just yesterday I binge watched like all John Wicks like back to back. But prior to that, I was
Nice.
watching some really bad stuff, so I was like, I need to see some really good stuff. So it's like I balance it out.
What did you think of the fourth John Wick? Have you
I,
seen it?
I'm pretty sure. No, I did see it. Oh yeah, he died. I did like it because Donnie Yen is in it.
Mhm.
I just I mean yeah, it was more Wick. It was just like it just felt like
More
John Wick
Wick.
1, but just longer. Like it's
It
like
did.
it just feels like a John Wick movie. So I was like, all right, cool. It was, again, you know what you're signing up for. It was cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I felt like the third Wick movie was probably the worst one because it didn't have really any story. It was just all action. And I felt like the fourth one did a good job of bringing the story back in combination with the action.
The third one was
The third one was
with
with
that chick, right?
Halle Berry. Is that her? Yeah.
Oh, it was with Halle Berry. Yeah, Halle Berry. But then
Is that Halle Berry? I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. It's the one where the Continental guy shoots John Wick and he falls off the building.
oh yeah, because they do parlay. So it's that chick with the short hair, and it's so funny because that's when John Wick. I did a clip where John Wick he fights those two guys and he gets kicked around and he's breaking all these what appear
Oh,
to be like
I
tops.
saw that.
And I was like, this is gonna when Mario comes over to my place, this is gonna be him. He's gonna be just stumbling, just and just shattering every single detop you can imagine. Like,
Oh, that resonated so well.
I saw that
This is
scene.
perfect.
Yeah, I saw that scene. I'm like, this is gonna be the Mario the day he comes over to my house. Like, he's just gonna be tripping on stuff and just breaking through the rest of my detops. Like, yeah.
Detops left and right.
All I kept picturing was detops. Like when they kept tossing John Wick, and I was like, Jesus, could you throw him through another detop? Like that's, I was laughing. But yeah,
I felt
part 3 was just a lot of
bad
action.
for the collector. You know, that guy, he's gonna have to replace a lot of detops, and those things have gone up in price.
Yeah,
they're not cheap anymore. But yeah, so Halle Berry was in John Wick 3.
She was, yeah.
Just to be sure. I know I was going to get some haters
she was.
in the comment.
Yeah, that was just so weird. Like there were some weird parts. The whole spitting in the water thing, like that was just, to me, I didn't get that. But you helped them, then you treat them like crap. I don't know. But you're right. Yeah, there was a lot of action, not so much story. Part 4. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I really loved Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Did you ever see IP Man or whatever?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
IP Man.
If you guys are listening and you have not seen IP Man, you need to see it because he does some like classic Donnie Yen moves in John Wick 4, like the quick punch.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I just saw what, Blade 3? He's in Blade 3, right? He's in one of the Blade movies. He's like one of the vampires. Yeah, he's one of the vampires.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, hey, that's Donnie Yen.
Blade 3 was with Ryan Reynolds, right?
Okay, so then it's not the Ryan Reynolds. Maybe it's Blade 2. It's the one where the dude, the son of like Dracula, or not Dracula.
Oh, Blade 2.
Okay, Blade 2. And he has that predator mouth thing. That's where Donnie Yen's in.
Okay. Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was like one of the kind of good guys, sort of.
Yeah.
I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah, he fights one of those weirded vampires, and he does like this Liu Kang kick in midair. It's like he kicks on like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So that's what I just saw the other day. And I was like, oh,
which is crazy martial arts. Going on another tangent, man, we need to have like a movie podcast at some point. But let's talk about pre-orders. We'll go into more detail about some of the stuff we've been seeing recently. We'll start with kind of a giant release. Where is it? Giant Man. I'm surprised this is only halfway funded, and we're about halfway through.
We got 27 days, and I would have expected it to be funded by now. I still haven't backed it up. I'm going to back it up, Bips. Like if those numbers, hopefully, as the day goes by, it gets closer and closer. Because to me, it's cool. I like it. I'm a fan. The price point is okay with me. I don't get all the negative hype about it, but
I think the price
yeah,
point
no,
makes a lot of sense for what you're getting. You know, $200 when prior HasLabs have been like $350, but those prior HasLabs also came with additional figures. I've seen that kind of
yeah,
be kind of a main critique is, well, he doesn't come with any figures.
yeah,
But he's also only $200, so he's $150 less than
yeah,
the normal HasLab,
yeah.
and you're getting a 12-inch, highly detailed giant man.
No, not 12. It's
Um,
24.
oh, he's
24 inch.
24 inches. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
24.
See, that
He's
goes
like
to show
two
you how
inches
much
shorter
I
than the
researched.
Sentinel. Yeah,
Oh
24
wow, yeah,
inches. I
24
was gonna say
inches.
12
Wow,
inches.
he's huge.
Yeah. So he's 2 inches
That's right.
shorter
They
than the
make those
Sentinel.
like cheap
Again,
legends that are 12 inches.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's to me, again, and they did a really good job of showing the prototype, the paint applications, like this new
Mhm.
technique on the eyes. It looks super realistic. I don't know. He looks really good. To me, it's impressive. I love the articulation. Sure, give me all the digits on the finger so I can do a bunch of silly stuff.
You do the Thanos
Um,
snap.
but the deco's there. Yeah, you can do the Thanos snap, the Gomez finger, like. But the deco's there.
Mhm.
The paint, like, I just love how they do the shadowing, the wrinkling. It's like, okay, it's there, and then the different faces, like, that's cool. And I love that they went with this more traditional or comic based Giant Man. They could have given us something kind of like goofy, or they could have gave us a MCU one, or I don't know. It just, I have the Toy Biz Giant Man, which is again a stellar Giant Man.
Mhm.
But I think
I'm interested
this would
in.
even up. Yeah,
Don't interrupt. I'm interested in how the faces swap out because you can see like he's got mask pieces over his face, but this is like a full face piece.
yeah. I think they just pop, like, you can pop it back, kind of like apparently in Galactus. I haven't even opened my Galactus, but
Oh,
you could pop it off, and then so it's just the mask, and then you pop in the face. They semi explained it on their live, which to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how that, because I had the same question, like, how's that going to work? But they semi explained it on their live.
interesting.
Yeah,
Really crazy texturing too. You can see
yeah.
it like in the
hmm
sculpt.
I think they killed it. They did a fantastic job on the figure.
It looks really good. And it's
Yeah,
like, you know, when you look at classic Avengers comics, Giant Man's always popping up somewhere. He's like
yeah,
such a iconic part of the team that
yeah.
really hasn't been represented well in figure form. So I think it's really cool they're doing this. You can see some of the stretch goals. I think one of them is if you get to 12,000, you get the Giant Man
Zombie.
zombie.
Yeah,
So he gets like the zombie face, and I think he's got like some damaged antenna and some
yeah.
other little features like that. At 14,000, you get the
You get
scroll face.
it's a scroll head. It's another.
Oh, it's a whole head. Okay.
It's a whole head because he doesn't have the side, like, little.
Oh, right,
See,
right.
yeah. And that's from Secret Invasion. Like, if you read the comics, like, it was a pretty good battle where they had like their own Giant Man version.
Okay, so it wasn't real Giant Man. It was like a scroll version of Giant Man.
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, 24 inches, not 12, like I stated. I feel like the timing's a bit rough for this one because I think they just finished a Star Wars HasLab right before this for the Ghost
yeah,
vehicle, and then they launched this one. So I know there's been a lot of people that have been saying like, "Hey, you know, funds are tight right now. Maybe
yeah,
that's part of the reason why it's taking so long to fund. It's halfway there, and you got
yeah.
27 days, so it's
I
still a
hope
good
it. I
chance this
hope
thing
it.
is going
I
to
hope
fund."
it gets to 10,000. I'm gonna back it up. I just gotta sign up, finish it.
You got plenty of time.
I'm waiting till it's like 998, and
So you
then
can
I'll
be
be like,
the
yes, I'm
10,000.
the one. Yeah, and then it skyrockets.
Yeah, it needs to get to like at least 12. 14 would be
Yeah,
great, so you get everything.
yeah.
And
Which
you typically
I'm
see
just
those last
surprised.
couple of days is where it really starts to
Take off.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, especially that last week, or even like the last 3 days that you see it take off. I'm pretty confident this is gonna fund. Like, I really hope it funds.
Yeah. I feel like it would be very surprising if it didn't.
Yep.
But yeah, I hope it does too, for your sake, Prime. And
Thank
for
you.
anybody else out there that decided to pre-order this.
I'm trying not to get into Legends, but they're slowly pulling me back.
After you just offloaded quite a few of them.
I know.
Get Legends on the brain again.
Yep.
Well, if you're not into Legends, there is some Mezco stuff out there. Just kick off the Mezco RumbleCon, they put up a new pre-order, and we've seen rumblings of this guy in the past. We've seen some teases. You guys are familiar with the name Slugfest. You know, if you go on the Mezco page and you click right here, it takes you to Slugfest's Emporium. So he's like a big part of Mezco and kind of the Rumble Society. So he's finally getting his own figure. I think the big disappointment for me about this one is that he's on the Thanos body.
Yeah, that Bluto body too, right?
Bluto, Thanos, limited articulation, no ab crunch. He's probably going to have single jointed elbows.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I know some people may not care about that. I feel like when you get Mezco stuff, it really pisses me off when things are single jointed. Because I'm spending a lot for this. You know, I want it to be better articulation.
And he's I don't know, but from what I've seen, he is on that Bluto body, but it's tough to get him in these. I mean, it's obviously easier because he has like the ripped up shirt and stuff, but you can't get him in like these crazy. Not that you're gonna be getting him in Spider-Man poses, but he's tough to move. Like he's very static.
Right.
Both my Thanos and Bluto, like they're in one or two poses. Like Thanos just has this gauntlet up, and then Bluto's just like that's it. Like you move up his arms, but it's like that's it. That they just go up and down. They don't really. You can't do much with them.
Yeah, Bluto is probably one of those figures I've used the least out of stuff that I bought in the past. I still have him.
He looks really good.
He looks great,
looks really good,
but he just doesn't move very well.
Did you? I'm guessing you didn't get this guy, but even the accessories, they were kind of like a lackluster. He came with some extra hands and stuff, and then like this knockoff version of Jimmy Neutron's dog. That's all I kept thinking was like, that dog looked like. I'm like, where have I seen this dog before?
Yeah, B3G, buy three get one. The arachnid doodle mech pet. Yeah, he's like a spider dog thing. 6 points of articulation and a hinged jaw.
Well, he articulates more than Slugfest.
I was just gonna say that too. I mean, it's cool. You know, if you're a big Rumble guy, then this is kind of a no-brainer to complete the Rumble collection.
Of course. It
comes with two different head sculpts. They both light up. I think his hands are kind of interesting. He's got like interchangeable hands. He's got this one that has rotating wheels.
Yeah.
But he's also got like this spring-loaded joint in his hand. Let me see if it
is it the shocker hand? Oh, like because that would like come on.
Like you can kind of see it right here. It mentions it in one of the pictures, but it says it's like let me see.
The shocker hand.
Yeah, it doesn't say it's a shocker hand, but it says something about here we go.
Right there it is.
Spring compression gauntlets.
Oh.
That's an interesting feature on an action figure. Like how does that work? So like it's spring loaded.
Yeah, so you just probably like just a little tappy tap little. No, I'm guessing his fists go up and down like Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's sort of his power, I guess. He's got like these spring loaded.
I thought it'd be his
huge arms. Yeah, and the shocker hand right there. Not quite the shocker, but close enough.
Well, he's a robot, so
Right. I mean, he's only got 4 fingers to begin with, so
he can't afford
maybe he does have
to sacrifice too many.
Yeah, at least 12 different hands here. Yeah, but to your point, there's not a ton of accessories. Like he's got this weird hodgepodge hatchet, an anvil that's on a chain, jug of diesel-based moonshine, and his B3GO dog.
Yeah.
If you got Union Gomez, I could see this working really well with Union Gomez. Like maybe Union Gomez could work on him.
Yeah.
Could have like him welding the arm back on or something like that. I'm just thinking of toy shots. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah, and I've seen some people already grab them. Like the very next day, like they were already being shipped out.
He's already in people's hands. And it was just up last week, I think, or maybe earlier this week. Yeah, it was just a few days ago. I can't remember specifically.
I think it was last week, but yeah.
I think it was last week, but yeah, it's like at least within a week turnaround time, and I'm surprised he's still listed as buy it now here for $100.
But what does that? I mean, that goes to show you something, right? I think.
Yeah, he's not very popular, more than likely.
No, I think everybody was like, "Oh, pumped for him," and then they saw him, they're like, no, thanks."
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's there's so much out there now. Like, I think most of us, at least most of us, are being a little bit smarter with our money now. Where it's like, I'm not gonna pull the trigger on every single Mezco drop, just because there's so much good stuff. Like, what if Mayfex drops something killer tomorrow, or Hasbro, or Joe's, or Mythic Legion? You know, it's like there's a lot of us collect all sorts of different lines.
Yeah, that's true. There's just a lot right now. To your point, like you got the HasLab, and but they did do RumbleCon reveals, so kind of go through some of these. You got the 5 points Doc Knock, which I feel like this needs to be an updated version of Doc Knock, maybe.
Yeah.
I really like this styling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his little frog butler. I mean, it's just cool. The vehicle. It's just I wish this was in 112, because if he looked that good, I might get Doc Knock yet again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then these guys here would be cool enemies to get.
Yeah, they look like something out of Men in Black.
Yeah. You've got the dark side version of Lightsaber Gomez, basically Void Gomez as the dark side. Doesn't show off a whole lot about him. All it tells me, he's got a cloak and he's got a red lightsaber. So this is going to be basically the nemesis to Void Cadet Gomez. So if you guys got Void Cadet, you're probably a bit more interested in this one.
Yep.
I'm interested to see what else they include here, because what I'm seeing already, he looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think that makes me think, are they going to do Star Wars at some point? They started doing Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you don't know, Indiana Jones is owned by Disney, just like Star Wars is. So if they can do one, it makes me feel like they might be able to do the other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at some point we will see Star Wars, and this is just like early prototypes. How are we going to get the lightsabers to work? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Wow.
The 112 Collective Rumbler Reinforced Urban Military Battle Land Rig. Crazy timing on this.
Yeah.
I feel like vehicles have been a more talked about thing this last year. Like we've seen Valaverse talk about vehicles a lot. We had a failed HasLab that was trying to do a vehicle.
Yeah.
In Mezco delivering their own version of a vehicle. I mean, this thing already looks pretty killer.
It
just
does.
from this alone.
And that Gomez, that head looks a little different. So, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the gold Commander Gomez. Yeah. He came with those kind of like comic style heads.
Yeah.
You got Death Adder sticking out of the top here. It makes me want Diplodamus more.
Yeah.
You know, we still haven't got a Dippo or a Clank MacGuffin. Clamp.
Good old Clank.
Clank, maybe. How much do you think this thing's going to cost, though? That's my question.
All right, let's see. I would probably say anywhere between $350 to $425.
Oof. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, I'm saying $250, and only because the Void Strike Gomez with mech suit was $350 in total.
Right.
And then they sold Void Cadet for $100. So that makes me think, okay, the mech suit's probably like $250.
Okay. So the mech and the Void was $350, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
but
I think
this is also a bit bigger. I don't know.
Yeah.
The mech was very detailed, though, you know?
It was. And what if this is the same thing, some type of detail on the inside, like light up stuff, you open the doors, you can fit like, you know, it has like what if they have like, you can open up the back, you can fit, because obviously you can fit at least 2 Mezco figures in there. You got Gomez driving
top piece so you can fit them in.
Yeah, and you got Death Adder. And then what if he comes with the Gomez, or what if he comes with another? I'm sure it's going to probably be like a different type of Gomez. So that's what I'm thinking, like 350, 375. Like I don't see it passing 425, but I see it like definitely like between 350 to 425. And then, you know, all the accessories, all the hands and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. They wouldn't make this a standalone. That wouldn't make any sense. it'd have to be bundled with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know when we'll see that, but that's definitely coming. This is sort of like a Darth Vader character. Olamu Rook. He looks cool. He looks very much like Darth Vader. Yeah, there's no way. Alomu Rook. I can't say it. He's doing some kind of force thing with his hands. He's got some crazy like bug type helmet.
It's like a version of a hybrid of a Krieg.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Krieg mixed with Darth Vader.
Yeah, but
green. He's cool. He was in the video they did of Void Cadet, so it's kind of crazy to see him already. Got Crab Louie, who looks to be an expansion of maybe Nemo's crew.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah, he looks crazy. I wish we could see his face. I really want to see what that face looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely a very unique look. Alistair Gangrene, which is an expansion on the Gangrene Estates line, which so far all we've got is Sod Cutter.
Yeah.
So looks like maybe an enemy for Sod Cutter or a friend or I don't know, someone. He looks probably like he's going to be bigger just based on what we're seeing here. And then a new Gomez, a biker Gomez, which this gives me Lone Roach vibes.
Yeah.
With the gray coloring and all of that.
It's like close to the vest. Like he's got the jacket and the vest hanging off the bike. Man, this for me, I was like, yep, gonna have to add that to the collection.
Yeah, and the motorcycle is going to be another vehicle they're going to do.
Yeah.
So this will probably be close to like Ghost Rider price, I would think, maybe $275.
Right.
300-ish. But yeah, I mean, they're coming out swinging this year. A lot of not just figures, but also vehicles. And very unique stuff for the Rumble Society. So I know there's a lot of people that are excited for a lot of this stuff. I feel like Biker Gomez is the one that I saw the most people repost. That seems to be where a lot of the excitement is. But let us know in the comments. What are you guys excited for? Which RumbleCon reveal are you most anticipating? And then they're also starting to ship Mezco Gomez soon. Not Mezco Robin. I'm sorry. I said Gomez.
Robin and Solomon Kane.
Yeah, and last but certainly not least, we'll wrap up pre-orders here because we're going on longer than I anticipated. Mezco the Mask is going up for pre-order on 9/27, so you guys get an idea of when we're recording this. But yeah, he'll be up very soon, and I'm almost certain they're going to do a yellow suit version too. I think this is the comic version.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
was blue suit. So if they do like a movie version, it'll be yellow suit. But are you interested in the mask?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really want to see what the accessories look like on this one.
They can be some real wacky ones.
Yeah, that's a character they can kind of get crazy with, and it's totally acceptable.
Yep.
All right, Plastic Confessions. What do you got?
Ooh. Oh, Plastic. This is going to be kind of a doozy. Well, we're just wrapping up the entail of September, which y'all know my birthday just passed. So
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Got surprised by Lady Prime and the fam. They went all out this year. They really surprised me with getting a bunch of action figures that were on my list. And I just kind of throw stuff that, I'm kind of in the hunt for, but I'm not going to necessarily go out of my way and buy them for myself. More either wait for them on sale or give them the option of giving them to me as gifts. So the one only thing that did come through that was a pre-order was the Toddy Mac, another Toddy Mac, classic Riddler, finally came through from Amazon.
Nice.
So I love that outfit. I just wish Mezco would do a classic Riddler, either suit or in that version. That'd be great.
It seems like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah,
like Mezco loves doing guys in suits, and Mezco, Riddler is a guy in a suit.
Give us the Riddler. Come on. Riddler, then Penguin. Come on, you're giving us Joker and Two-Face. Riddler and Penguin. Where are they at?
Yeah, for the 30 different Mezco Batman that he released, it just blows my mind that we don't have a Riddler. You gave us a Two-Face, you gave us a Joker.
Yep.
Then you kind of stopped the road gallery. We got a Mr. Freeze. Riddler's like kind of a key character.
He's next. And they need to give us a better Catwoman. But yeah.
God, yeah.
And then I got Sir Poopy a lot. Poops a lot.
Sir Poops a lot.
But his range really he had a lot of corn. his diet consisted of a lot of corn. His range really like impressed me. Like, he's able, like, if I could put Batman in his grips,
For being a bigger figure, I'm surprised his shoulders go in that far.
Yeah, so I really like that. It was just tough to move the joints, and it kind of left me all left my hands all cut up because of all the corn in his diet. So that was good. And then slightly switching to Marvel Legends is I finally got the Hawkeye on this Sky Cycle.
Nice.
So it's a great addition to the Avengers team because then I can replace my other Hawkeye because this guy's so vibrant like that. It's really.
I was just gonna say, I love how bright his coloring is.
Yep. Yeah.
I've seen a few toy shots and it really pops in shots.
Yeah, he's killer. He's really good.
Yeah,
Then
really good.
got the NECA, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Nice.
To kind of complete my classic Universal monsters. So he's up there.
I saw Unparalleled Universe did a review of him, Wade.
Yeah, I tried watching it, but he was yelling so much that I had to mute it and then just watch it on subtitles.
What's everybody? We got Creature from the Black
Lagoon. And then I was surprised with the Super 7 Casey Jones.
Yeah, buddy.
And I happened to find my old Playmates.
Oh, hell yeah.
We talked about that nostalgia button. That's the nostalgia feeling, right?
Seriously.
That Casey really, really fulfills it.
They did such a good job.
I finally got the cape
classic
and skirt on the Demistros, so that was awesome.
Nice.
So now he's fully complete. I was missing that. And then last is this 1,000-piece puzzle of Marvel cards, which I thought was really cool.
Nice. That's awesome. Dang, you had a good birthday.
Let's live stream and let's put the puzzle together. We'll be like a 12-hour live stream because I suck at puzzles.
Right. It's gonna take us forever, but we'll get there. The longest live stream.
Yeah, we'll live stream.
Figure booth. We're just building a puzzle.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was a killer.
We're gonna go to sleep.
Killer birthday.
That's awesome, man. Well, happy birthday. You basically made up for me not having anything new. I've got like the Mezco Green Ranger. I think I mentioned that already last week. And that's like the only new thing. I've got some things on the way. So hopefully by the next time we record, I'll have more of a plastic confession. But I'm taking an L this week.
Yeah.
Or a token, I should say.
Yeah.
Since I didn't do it last week, we'll do it quickly, even though I'm not really shooting right now. So it's kind of hypocritical. But Nasty Nate's dirty trick for the week. And this is something that I think when I think about wanting to shoot again, this is what helps me get ideas. And maybe I've talked about this before, but creating a story in toy photography. If your toy photos have some kind of compelling story, it can really like elevate your images from just like a snapshot to some kind of like captivating visual narrative. And some of the best guys in the community that I'm aware of are really great at doing this because it's not just a shot where you're trying to capture photos of a figure. You're trying to like make a story and something like click in your mind about what's happening in this scene. So if you guys are struggling for toy shots, sometimes just creating some kind of visual narrative, think about an idea, what's the story you want to pick? What's the scenario you want to convey? What characters are going to be a part of it? What's their role? Maybe what's like a key moment you're trying to represent. That can help sometimes create ideas. And then as you're, putting the shot together, think about what characters work well, what kind of emotions you want to express, what props or accessories can help you tell that story, what's like maybe the conflict that's happening or the resolution. Some guys like Dan's Toy Art are really good about making like sequential shots. Yeah. So they'll make one shot after another, and they'll have this long story. And Dan's Toy Art is amazing at doing that. That guy should write comics. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but his captions are very well thought out. It goes really well with the scene. So yeah, if you guys are having problems with toy shots like I have been lately, try to think about creating a story. What's like something you want to tell? Because those shots, I think, tend to do a bit better because it can kind of resonate with more people. I see this. I see not only what the shot is, and it's a cool shot, but I see kind of what this person's trying to tell me from this shot. So hopefully that helps you guys.
Awesome.
And last but certainly not least, we're going to do our Figure Aficionado for the week. I've been
Hey-o.
missing this because it's one of my favorite parts of the show is being able to look at other people out in the community that are doing solid toy photo work. And one thing that Mezco did during their last Slugfest reveal is that they sent the figure out to different members of the community, like they've done in the past, to let them do their own toy shots. And I found this guy through that. I'm sure some of you are familiar with him, but his name is Toy Mirth. And here he is. And this is his Slugfest shot.
That's cool.
He did a bunch of different shots. Slugfest looks like he's maybe in like a workshop. He's got his workbench back there. He's got his B3GO dog. Oh, there we go. Union Gomez working on
his arm. Look at that.
Slugfest. That's a great shot. I love the idea with the, he's welding his arm back on. Kind of like doing some training here. There's like really creative ideas. Pumping iron, walking the dog, beating up the PSCC. The different head sculpts he's showing up. I mean, he did a really great job of doing some product photography to kind of really show this thing off and all it can do. And if you look at his page, he's just a really great photographer. Like this subway scene that he did with all the Spider-Man is incredible.
That's awesome.
He recently did a Halloween shot with Venom eating like this lollipop. Just super creative, really innovative idea. He's always telling stories in his shots, which is awesome. This Conan shot fighting some skeletons. I mean, he's very diverse in his work. I really like his toy photography. He reminds me kind of like of Max Fisher in a way.
Yeah.
Very detailed, really cool, like setups and scenes.
One picture can tell, like you said, one picture tells a story. Like you can feel the vibe that they're trying to set, like the mood's there. It's so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So shout out to you, Toy Mirth. I'm a big fan of your work, man. You probably saw me follow you and then like hundreds of your photos. His name's Anthony. He's from New Jersey. He's got his own channel on YouTube called Figuratively Speaking. I like that name.
Yeah.
I feel like that might have been one of the names that we kind of rattled around before we settled on Figure Booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check him out. Go give him some support. Give him a follow. Maybe throw him a kind comment. We just wanted to shout you out. Anthony, you're doing amazing work, dude. So keep it up. But I know you're all sad, but that has reached the end of our show.
Brings us to the end.
The final countdown.
We made
but
it.
it's not the end of the end.
That's it.
We'll be back again.
Yes.
We're almost at episode 88, which is weird to admit. I know we've been, kind of back and forth on episodes, but it's cool that we're almost at 100. It's been a long road for me and Prime.
Mm-hmm.
As always, if you guys are listening and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the Figure Booth. Hit that like button if you like this episode. Leave a comment for some of the stuff we asked earlier. We'd love to hear from you. Interaction is, something that we really enjoy. Read all the comments that you guys send us. So thanks for the support so far. And Prime, I guess I'll let you sign us off.
And that's, if you want to stay current with what's going on, you can follow me on Prime to the First on Instagram, Facebook. I need to get back on Twitter. And what about you? Where can they keep up with you?
Is it Twitter or is it X? I guess it is Twitter.
That's right.
It's just a
X.
new logo. It's like a new logo, but it's
a new logo.
Twitter. It makes no sense.
It's like he named it after his kid or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He just wants to be cool and hip. But yeah, you can find me at figurefan_Nate on Instagram, Threads, if that's still a thing, and X or Twitter as well at the same. But thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Till next time, guys.
Take care of yourselves.
Peace.